think it's normal, by the way, that basically every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed. Like, this is fucking like literally, you start speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not like, excuse my language, but like that is not normal. Okay. It's not normal that people have to think about their security because, and by the way, it's not normal that then the way that you get comfortable with it is you're like, well, they shot JFK in an open car. So there's not, I mean, he's a sitting president.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The New Nation. Thanks for being here. Before we get into the video today, just a couple of words. Guys, go to buymeacoffee.com/The New Nation. You can support the show there. You can make some passive income and keep this show going. But what's most important to me and to the channel's survival on YouTube is to like, subscribe, comment, share the video, hit the notification bell so that when I make new videos, you guys are alerted and can come and give me all the engagement that I need to stay on to YouTube. This isn't going to be a very long video. This is actually going to be a pretty quick video, but I wanted to address the sort of firestorm that has kicked up since Candace Owens has done a couple of her Twitter spaces, if you will, the internet and the whole Zionist machine, the whole GOP conservative media machine is after her. They're all going nuts. They are all coping ad nauseum in their tweets, on their timelines, on Instagram, everywhere. It is absolutely hilarious, and it just goes to show you that she is right about everything that she is saying, because the one thing that they're doing is they're just slandering her. They're calling her crazy. They're saying that she's off her meds. They're calling her an anti-Semite, but they're not refuting her. They're not pinpointing what she's saying that is wrong. No, they're not doing that. They're just doing the name calling. Have some balls, because if you're going to call her names, actually refute her where she's wrong. Kind of pick apart her arguments, but they're not doing that. And I think it's absolutely hilarious. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a little bit of the video, and then we're going to just go through some of my favorite tweets calling Candace out. And yeah, but before we do that, before we look at the video, I just want to get this all out there in full transparency. People who have been following this channel, people who have been following me, they know I know Candace. There are people who start off their Twitter rants with, I know Candace personally. And it's funny because today, earlier on Candace's show, she mentions one of these tweets, and I'll tell you about it. She met the person once, like 4 years ago.
Let me stop you right there. I do not know Sarah. Okay. I've met Sarah many moons ago, but just to be clear, I haven't even seen her since before I was married and had children. That's how long ago it's been since I've known Sarah. But she's doing this because she thinks that it's going to weight the statement and because somebody has told her to do this.
These people don't know her. And even me, I've known Candace since 2017. We're not best friends. We don't talk to each other all the time, but I've had a professional and somewhat casual, friendly relationship with Candace for the past, oh man, it's maybe 7 years going on right now. Like I said, I photographed her wedding. I photographed the cover of her first book, Blackout. That was me. I did that. I photographed her family numerous amounts of times. I'm probably friendlier with her husband, George. We talk every now and then. And George is someone who has, like Candace, kind of helped guide me back into the faith. He's a very, very zealous Catholic evangelist, and I thank George endlessly for that. And he's shown my prior content with the old show support and the new show support. He introduced me to Matt Fradd. Matt Fradd came on the old show, and I think they're great people. And of course, this video is not going to be as objective as I would like it to be, but it will be objective, just showing you how people are absolutely losing their minds and not being able to objectively refute, debate, or counter any of Candace's points. So I wanted to do that. Let's get into this video just from her Twitter space, I think yesterday or a couple days ago. And this is the same one that is being paraded on social media. So let's take a look at it.
I think it's normal, by the way, that basically every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed. Like, this is fucking like literally, you start speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not fucking normal. Like, excuse my language, but like that is not normal. Okay, it's not normal that people have to think about their security because, and by the so no, but then the way that you get comfortable with it is you're like, well, they shot JFK in an open car, so there's not. I mean, he's a sitting president.
Nothing wrong. I see nothing wrong with what she's saying. I think what happened with Candace is it's one of those things where you go through the American Prussian school system and you're propagandized with what you are being taught. And when you finally break out of that, and when you're able to do your independent research, when you're able to attend lectures, when you're able to attend speeches by people and learn new information that debunks the old propaganda that you were taught, you're awakened, right? You are zealous. You want more knowledge. You want more of the correct historical knowledge. And I think this is what happened with Candace. She's been lied to about the Zionist movement. She's been sort of sold this propaganda that, American and Israel are great allies. Israel is our greatest ally. We can't talk or ask questions about the Holocaust or the Second World War if we bring up the idea of the slaughter of millions of Christians by the Soviets. We're always pushed to the side and always having to be told, no, the Holocaust is the worst genocide in the history of the world, which is kind of weird because there were so many survivors of it. So I don't understand how you have the worst genocide in the world, but you have, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of survivors. That doesn't really make any sense. And that's something that I've always questioned. But let's look at some of these tweets, because this is just, it shows you that, whenever like the COVID-19, any sort of talking point with Donald Trump, where the whole media apparatus, it's almost like they all get a script, right? You've seen those videos of them saying the same thing on different news channels about either 9/11 or about the COVID-19.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control.
They're doing the same thing with Candace now. Let's go to my first one. Let's go to my favorite one. Okay, this is Sarah A. Carter. My statement on real Candace Owens. I've known Candace for some time and admire her work on Brexit as a valued voice in the conservative movement. Funny thing about this, I was listening to Candace's show earlier and she reads the same tweet. And she says, so this Sarah lady, I met her once 4 years ago.
Let me stop you right there. I do not know Sarah.
I thought that was absolutely hilarious because I tweeted right below it, which is actually pretty funny. I said, guarantee this goy doesn't know Candace, in quotation marks. And I was absolutely right. She doesn't know Candace. Let's get back to her tweet. Sadly, something seems to have gone wrong with Candace, so that she is now engaging in and spreading the most vile and vicious Jew-hating conspiracy theories, some of them dating back to the depths of ignorance from the Middle Ages. Which ones? You're not even saying which ones. Her false ideology spreads like a deadly cancer. I condemn Candace Owens. I condemn her disgraceful fall to espousing pure anti-Semitism, and I know there's no room in the conservative movement for an anti-Semite like Owens. I call upon any conservative individual or organization who still holds any ties to Owens to similarly condemn and cut off Owens. Condemn her for what? You're making a blanket statement for anti-Zionism, like anti-Semitism? What does that mean? Because the Jewish population can't even define what anti-Semitism means, because as not Rabbi Shmuley, but another rabbi that Candace had on, Rabbi Barclay, he couldn't even define anti-Semitism and said that it was always changing. Anti-Semitism is this like nebulous, rubbery, it never has a concrete definition.
Candace, right? I'll say it again. It mutates because the definition, again, I'm quoting Lord Sachs, directly quoting him, where he says that Jews have, his definition, it's pretty much accepted. Jews have no right to exist collectively as Jews with the same rights as other human beings.
Yes, that sounds like a definition.
And the reason that it mutates, how that becomes manifest, is because in the Middle Ages.
So how can you condemn anti-Semitism if you don't know what it means? This is like, I don't understand how the whole cringe conservative movement is now taking someone who they held on such a high pedestal and now completely flipping on her once she mentioned the Jews. She talked about BLM, she talked about COVID, she talks about vaccinations, she talked about a whole plethora of things. And to call her a grifter is ridiculous, because she's had this feeling since what happened to Kanye West a couple years ago. And she's been openly talking about this, even on her Daily Wire show. So the fact that people are calling her some grifter makes no sense because she's not changing what she's talking about. She's doubling down. She's going even further down the rabbit hole. So to call her a grifter is absolutely ridiculous. To call her an anti-Semite doesn't even make sense anymore. It's like people using the word Nazi as a form of an insult. Nazi, it's like, what does it mean? What does that mean anymore? Like, these words don't have any meaning. So the label of anti-Semite is absolutely hilarious and something that you can throw away. Let's take a look at this post by Cam Higbee. I don't even know who that is, but he's always in my For You feed. I promise you, despite her claims, Candace Owens has not read a single book on Zionism written by a primary source or actual academic. Maybe some fringe conspiracy theorists, but hey, anyone can write a book. Anyone can write a book, that's right. So a fringe conspiracy theorist that has a counter narrative to your understanding of what Zionism is ultimately a fringe conspiracy theorist to this guy, to this Cam Higbee. So someone says, why didn't you debate her on her space? She invited all Zionists to do so. I'd be happy to join her in her space. I didn't know she was going live. Do it next time. I'll screenshot this and save it for you. He responds, just DM it to me when she announces, I don't pay close enough attention to her. Well, your timeline would beg to differ. These people are now doing, bait posts, rage posts, just so that they can get that content engagement from the algorithm. That's all they're the GOP influencers, the conservative influencers, they have no self-respect. Okay, it's when it's someone that they disagree with, they automatically have to post this sort of rage bait so that they can stay relevant. I never heard of this Cam Higbee guy. He looks like a douchebag. Let's go to the next tweet. This is from Carmine Sabia. I am a Zionist. Like, okay, lame. Who cares? Not a flex, dude. And Candace Owens is a Jew-hating psycho. This is slander. There's actually no evidence to say that Candace Owens is a Jew-hating psycho. She has criticisms against the nation of Israel and against Zionism. That doesn't necessarily mean that she is a Jew-hater. If I were Candace, I would just honestly start suing everybody. Daily Wire did not get rid of her because she did not have the same views as Ben Shapiro. Patently, that's why they got rid of her. Because Ben Shapiro did not agree with her on her anti-Zionist position. So that's why they fired her. They got rid of her because having a conspiracy theorist wacko on staff is a liability. Like, again, what they're doing is, and if anything, they're making her more popular because they're not refuting anything that she's saying. They're just attacking her. They're just saying that she's a psycho. Like that's not going to do anything for you and for your side other than elevate her even more. Carmine Sabia. Carmine. Imagine a guy named Carmine. Are you even Jewish? Imagine being like an Italian and saying, I'm a Zionist. Your ancestors are rolling in your grave, Carmine. All right, last one. Dear Real Candace O, this comes from Pastor Greg Locke, and Pastor Greg Locke has a Israeli flag in his bio. I kindly request a public debate on what God truly says about the nation of Israel. I've stood with you and Blexit. You've been a great voice for change. You're becoming a mouth for another Holocaust. Dude, the depth these people will go to get that paycheck is beyond me. You are deceived by a media that you have built a career calling out. No, Pastor Greg, you are deceived by a media because you are doing the exact same thing that media that she's calling out is doing. And that is piling on top of someone without refuting someone for having a difference of opinion and not attacking the substance of what she's saying. You're just attacking the person. We can live stream the discussion from the balcony of my apartment overlooking Jaffa Gate in Jerusalem. I've been to Jaffa. It's whatever. It's not nice. It's like Queens in New York. Jaffa's whatever. It's on the beach. It's kind of nice. But anyway, like these are people engagement farming. They want clicks. They're trying to ride the coattails of Candace's virality right now. Hey, please have me on your show so we can have a debate. Like, that's so gay. I can't stand that. What else is there to say? I think Candace is proving these people right. This would make sense if the people that were coming out of the woodwork were on the left, were progressives, were liberal. I would get that, right? We're common enemies. I understand that. The fact that it's conservatives, quote unquote conservative, it's happening all over the place. It's happening on Instagram. It's happening on X. The level of malice that they have for Candace right now. These are people within our own movement. Conservative Christians, GOP, conservative voters. I think they've lost their collective mind, and what they're doing is they are falling for it. Candace saying that the Zionists have a stranglehold on media, and what happens? conservative media comes out in numbers, starts slandering her, tries to, I guess, oppress her freedom of speech, which they so openly opine for. I think the freedom of speech is gay and cringe. We can go into that in another episode. Maybe that'll be the next episode, why freedom of speech is gay and cringe. But I don't even think that Candace is setting a trap where I would say the trap has been set and they're falling for it. They are just walking hypocrites. They lack so much self-awareness that it's funny. So what does that ultimately mean? It means that Candace Owens is right. She's been right all along. Join me on the next video. We'll see where this journey of Candace takes us. And I support Candace 100%. I will continue to. I'm a Candace stan. And yeah, I try to make an objective video, which the points made objectively were true, how they are just attacking her as a person and not attacking her points. But subjectively, and bias, my own bias, I'll support Candace. Until proven otherwise, see you later.